Hi Scrappy people, Tracy Reed here today, and I have a ton of photos to put into one layout today. I'm scrapping the story of getting my oldest braces at age 17, which seems a little bit late in life. I mean, it's not really, but you know, most kids get braces a lot earlier than that. But this is the first time that we've had like the medical coverage and been able to afford such extensive dental work. And so yes, these are photos of my oldest getting braces, getting ready for braces, all of that. But the story is going to be about how I feel about this, because in general, my scrapbooks are about me. Even the stories that are about my kids are about my thoughts on my kids and my feelings about like how I feel about them, how I feel about what they're going through, how I feel about parenting them, all of that. And I feel like that is like the most authentic way for me to document our lives, obviously, because my lens is the only lens that's being documented. So the lens through which I'm looking at these photos is the story of how excited and happy I am for my oldest to get braces. But all that aside, I have this card from the Citrus Twist Back to Basics printables. And so I printed these actual photos of the day that the braces went on to fit in these squares. And then I have these that were for like during the consultation. I have other photos that were like the first consultation, but I'm just going to do these because these happened within 2 weeks of each other. So what I want is a page that is going to tell the story, probably with some hidden journaling. So I might actually have a pocket to pull this in and out of. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm gonna go with the Back to Basics collection. However, the Back to Basics collection is beautiful, but very, lots of color, lots of beautiful, vibrant color. And my oldest is very black and red and white. And so I'm going to take a deep dive into my Citrus Twist stash that I've already got building up, and I'm gonna find some papers that will work for this, which is the whole point of the Back to Basics collection, is to combine the new stuff with the old stuff. So let's make it happen. So the first thing that I do is take a deep dive into my Citrus Twist stash of papers that I have, and I pull out anything that's sort of neutral and will work for this page. I want to keep it fairly neutral, but I am going to use that beautiful heart paper right there from, I think it's, well, I don't know, November maybe of last year, something like that. But I have all of these neutrals because I want to keep it nice and neutral, but I do have a ton of fun with this layout. It came out really cool, and I feel like it was a little bit of a departure from what I normally do. I mean, it's not, it's still a layout by me, so obviously it is what I do, but it has a lot of fun details, and goes a little bit more micro than macro, which is a little bit different for me with a lot of like little small details. So because Citrus Twist printables are traveler's notebook size, I had to extend some of the papers to fit into Life Crafted album size, which is 5 inches instead of 4.25 inches. So you have to add a little less than an inch to make them fit on the rings outside the page protector, which is how I prefer to scrapbook. So I added that extender on the inside edge, and I'm going to do the same on the other side once I get this glued down. So I am going to create a pocket for this journaling card that I cut down. So I'm going to do that with red line tape along the edges of this bookmark. If I put it along the outside of 3 edges, it creates a pocket for that journaling card to slide in and out of, and like this vertical one creates the rail for it to stop, so it doesn't push too far in or push back through the layout. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim this card down a little bit too, and then I'm going to use the same paper to create the rail on the inside for the hole punch part of the page. So I know that those two papers really feel like conflicting and contrasting, but I'm going to cover up the majority of those black lines with this bookmark, so it works. And also it gives some emphasis to the portion that I want looked at, but also because I put that blue card in there, or that blue and white striped card in there, that also mitigates all of that black and just kind of leaves some black stripes along the edges of each side of that paper, and I think it looks kind of really cool, and it fits my kid's personality, so yay. I'm going to mount both of these photos on this gray so that I don't have too many hearts for this 17-year-old who is definitely embarrassed of me taking photos, and that is basically what I'm going to center my title around. Even though there's sort of a title on the top of that bookmark, I'm going to add another one because that picture is just too much to not comment on. I'm going to add some stamps from I think it's called the Thankful stamp set. It might be Gratitude. I'll link everything in the description below. But I'm going to add some stamps from that where I'm going to add my journaling. So these are actually going to be mostly hidden, but they will be visible when you pull the journaling out. Now I'm going to start building my embellishments. So I'm going to pull everything out that I think I might use, including these foam alphabets, and that UGG is from a puffy sticker sheet, so it's going to say UGG Mom, and then I'm going to use the tiny alpha set that you can see over on the right there to spell out so cringe. You can see that at the bottom. Then I have this measuring tape ephemera from one of the ephemera packs that came with my DIY Back to Basics kit. So I liked the black that added, and also like the measuring portion really made sense to me because we're starting this journey of like changing teeth, and so like we're measuring progress and all of that, so it worked for me mentally. Puffy stickers, of course, more hearts. And then I really like these arrows as well, so I'm going to add one to each side. You know how I like arrows pointing at each other on my pages. I'm going to add this blue tag behind this photo because I felt like there was a weird empty blank spot, but also because I wanted to bring in some of the blue from the right hand side to the left hand side. And then I have this photo do not bend, which adds in some of this like really light coral color to the side of the page. So I want to use one of the printable embellishments from the Back to Basics collection on the other side that sort of matches, but it just did not fit, and so I was struggling a little bit to make it fit, but then I decided to cut it in half, which was okay because I had 2 copies because it is digital. And then I'm going to try to frame it here, but of course it covers up faces, so that's no good. But then I decided to do it this way, and I really liked how that looked. And so I'm going to frame this photo, and it's going to say, "This is everything." I really wanted to use that sentiment. So like really on that side there, it says, "Here for this, this is everything." So I take off "this is my fave" because I felt like there were too many thises on that side, and I'm going to change it to something else down there instead. So "Here for this, this is everything." But there's definitely sticky stuff down there, so I have to put something down there. So I'm going to use one of these word bits. Always so many words on my pages. I just love words. And so I'm going to put this down here, and it says important, but then I'm going to add "you are." You are important. So I love the way that everything just gets framed out. There's so many tiny little pieces on this page. It really feels like I went into micro detail, which makes me happy. I felt like there was too much blue over here. I couldn't figure out why it looked so empty, so I'm going to add this frame here. It adds in some more gray, which is good, but also it cuts off some of that blue and makes it look more intentional. But this UGG Mom was making me nuts, so I'm going to put this black label here, and I'm actually going to put the UGG on the black label as an embellishment, and it works. I like it. But that is about it for this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Traci M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. And I will see you next time. All right, thank you.